It would be a tall order to weave the galaxy's most feared Sith Lord back into Star Wars Episode 9, but the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. So how exactly might that happen? Here are a few ideas. George Lucas inserted Anakin Skywalker as a Force ghost in the final moments of Return of the Jedi. Although it's always been assumed that only Jedi could access this power, Anakin's last-minute switch to the good guys must have given him just enough positive mojo to earn a spot beside Obi-Wan and Yoda. Replacing Sebastian Shaw with a digitally inserted Hayden Christensen in the special edition still feels like a gratuitous revision to the classic film, but it does crack the door open for what might be the most likely way for Vader to return in Episode 9, as a Force ghost played by Christensen. Whether offering counsel to Rey as a Jedi or to Kylo Ren as the new Supreme Leader of the First Order, Anakin could still impact his family's story one last time. In The Art of the Force Awakens, concept art from Episode 7 by Ian McCaig portrays Christensen as Anakin appearing as a Force ghost, with his face alternating between a human visage and the mask of Vader. This piece was created after Abrams came on board as director, so it's entirely possible he could revisit the concept in Episode 9. Watch the Star Wars saga films enough, and soon enough you'll start to notice that certain aspects of the movies rhyme, with certain plot beats echoing across all three trilogies.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
For example, there's a climactic moment in each of the first films where a trusted mentor figure dies unexpectedly. Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi both feature unexpected character reveals of some kind. Will the pattern repeat? Okay, so that's probably a massive stretch, but what good is a fan theory without some grasping at straws?
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
Following the reveal theme, Episode 9 could feature a sequence in which a ghostly Vader is providing counsel to Kylo Ren, secretly guiding him toward a decisive loss at the hands of the Resistance. Only for Ren to learn the ghost is actually the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker tricking Kylo to help his friends? If nothing else, it would be a suitable follow-up to Luke's promise that he'll see Kylo again at the end of The Last Jedi. In The Force Awakens, Rey experiences what would later be termed a Forceback, in which her contact with Luke's lightsaber gives her a glimpse of both the past and future of the Star Wars saga.
That lightsaber was Luke's, and his father's before him, and now it calls to you.
Filled with references to Star Wars past and present, this sequence has provided fertile ground for Star Wars fan speculators. A flashback in Episode 9 would offer another easy way for Abrams to introduce Darth Vader back into the saga. Kylo could get a glimpse of a pivotal moment in Vader's life through contact with his helmet, or another character could remember their own encounter with Vader from the past. One piece of old universe lore that has been reintroduced is the holocron, a small device, usually a cube, that can hold training and insights from either Jedi or Sith. When the holocron is activated, the recording is played back as a hologram, similar to Princess Leia projecting from R2-D2 in the original Star Wars. The holocron was introduced in 1991 in the Dark Empire comic series, and returned to modern continuity in later comics and the Clone Wars and Rebels television series. It's a handy plot device, whether as a MacGuffin to prompt a Jedi or Sith race across the galaxy, or an easy way to cram in some exposition through the broadcast of a long-lost character. More interestingly, if Vader recorded his own holocron of Sith insights, it's possible Kylo Ren might have discovered it and could replay it in Episode 9. In Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine explains to Anakin that Darth Plagueis was a Sith Lord obsessed with immortality, who mastered the ability to create life through the manipulation of midi-chlorians. Plagueis was once Darth Sidious's Sith Master, and as soon as Sidious mastered his own grasp of this arcane art, he murdered Plagueis in his sleep. A single panel in the Fortress Vader storyline from the Darth Vader comic series connects this Sith legend to one of the biggest questions in Star Wars lore, the parentage of Anakin Skywalker. We know Anakin's mother was Shmi, a slave from Tatooine, but his father has always remained a mystery. In Vader's journey through Mustafar's mysterious dark side portal, he has a vision of his mother as Palpatine lurks just over her shoulder, manipulating strange energies in her womb. It's the closest Star Wars has come to implying that the father of Anakin Skywalker is in fact Emperor Palpatine, using the powers he learned from Darth Plagueis to create life. It's possible this knowledge didn't die with Palpatine and that he passed it on somehow, either to his apprentice or with a holocron or other vessel. Kylo's discovery of such knowledge would set him on the path to mastering it and resurrecting his grandfather. It's very clear that Episode 9's filmmakers could bring back Vader if they wanted to, but should they? It's a tough question. On one hand, this new Star Wars trilogy has managed to cleverly fold in elements of the past films in surprising and resonant ways. If they do bring back Darth Vader, it's sure to feel significant and creatively fulfilling. And if you view the total 9-film story of the mainline Star Wars films as the saga of the Skywalker family, then it would make sense for the Patriarch to return one last time and influence the events surrounding his grandson's rise to power. On the other hand, Vader has become iconic partly because when he does appear, it truly matters. Take that sequence in Rogue One. Sure, it was a nice excuse for an extended sequence of Sith badassery using all of the special effects and filmmaking skills the crew had to offer, but it was also a demonstration of Vader's impact on a moment of key importance to the entire Star Wars galaxy. If he had succeeded, the Death Star plans would have remained in the Empire's possession, and the burgeoning rebellion might have been snuffed out. His failure had immense consequences for the story as a whole. Ultimately, that's the real question fans should be asking about Darth Vader in the run-up to Episode 9. Not whether he can return to the story, but instead what kind of monumental event could warrant his reappearance in a galaxy far, far away. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about Star Wars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.